The African savanna echoes with a sound that sends shivers down the spines of all who hear it, the roar of a lion. This powerful call can be heard up to 5 miles away, a testament to the lion's dominance in the wild. The roar serves multiple purposes. It marks territory, communicates with pride members, and intimidates rivals. This vocalization is a crucial aspect of their social structure and survival. Lions are the apex predators of this vast ecosystem, holding a position of critical importance. They regulate the populations of herbivores, ensuring a balanced and healthy environment. By preying on species like zebras, wildebeests, and antelopes, lions help prevent overgrazing, which can lead to soil erosion and loss of plant life. This predatory role maintains the diversity and resilience of the ecosystem. Their presence or absence shapes the very fabric of life in this remarkable landscape. Without lions, the delicate balance of the ecosystem would be disrupted, leading to overpopulation of certain species and depletion of vegetation. This imbalance can cause a cascade of negative effects, impacting other predators, scavengers, and even plant species, ultimately altering the entire ecosystem. For centuries, these majestic creatures have captivated our imaginations, becoming symbols of strength, power, and the untamed wild. They have been featured in countless myths, stories, and cultural traditions across Africa and beyond. From the ancient Egyptian Sphinx to modern-day emblems, lions have been revered and feared, embodying the spirit of the wilderness. But today, the lion's roar is fading. The once thriving populations are now confined to smaller and more fragmented habitats. These fragmented habitats make it difficult for lions to find mates, leading to inbreeding and reduced genetic diversity, which further threatens their survival. Sadly, lion numbers have plummeted in recent decades. From an estimated 200,000 lions a century ago, there are now fewer than 20,000 left in the wild. This drastic decline is a result of various factors, including poaching, loss of prey, and diseases transmitted from domestic animals. Habitat loss, human-wildlife conflict, and the illegal wildlife trade have all taken their toll. Expanding human settlements encroach on lion territories, leading to increased encounters and conflicts. Farmers often retaliate by killing lions to protect their livestock, exacerbating the decline in lion populations. The king of the beasts is now listed as vulnerable on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's IUCN Red List, a stark reminder of the challenges these magnificent animals face. Conservation efforts are critical to reversing this trend. Initiatives such as protected areas, anti-poaching patrols, and community-based conservation programs are essential to safeguard their future. The future of lions in Africa hangs in the balance. The survival of these apex predators is crucial for maintaining the ecological integrity of their habitats. Their presence ensures the health of the entire ecosystem, supporting a wide range of species and natural processes. It is our responsibility to understand the implications of their potential disappearance and to act decisively to ensure their survival. Collaborative efforts between governments, conservationists, and local communities are essential. Education and awareness campaigns can also play a significant role in changing attitudes and behaviors towards lions. The fate of countless other species, and indeed the health of the entire ecosystem, rests on our shoulders. Protecting lions means preserving the intricate web of life that sustains the African wilderness. By ensuring the survival of lions, we also protect the biodiversity and ecological processes that are vital for the planet's health. Lions play a crucial role in regulating prey populations, ensuring that no single species dominates the landscape. Their presence helps maintain a balanced ecosystem where various species can coexist without one outcompeting the others. As apex predators, they sit at the top of the food chain, keeping herbivore numbers in check and preventing overpopulation. This control is vital for preserving the diversity of plant life, which in turn supports a wide range of animal species. By targeting the weak and sick, they ensure the overall health of prey populations, reducing the spread of disease and promoting genetic strength. This natural selection process helps maintain robust and resilient animal communities. Without lions, the delicate balance of the ecosystem is disrupted, leading to a cascade of negative effects on other species and the environment. The absence of these predators can cause a dramatic increase in herbivore populations, which can have far-reaching consequences. Imagine a world where herbivore populations grow unchecked, leading to severe overgrazing and habitat degradation. This overpopulation can result in the depletion of vegetation, which is crucial for the survival of many other species. Without lions to keep their numbers in balance, these animals would consume vast quantities of vegetation, stripping the land of its resources. This excessive grazing can lead to the destruction of plant communities and the loss of habitat for other wildlife. This would lead to overgrazing and devastating consequences for the entire ecosystem, including soil erosion and loss of plant species. The degradation of the land can also affect water sources, further impacting the survival of both flora and fauna. The impact would be felt far and wide, with severe consequences for both animal and plant life, disrupting the natural harmony of the savanna. The loss of vegetation can lead to a decline in insect populations, which are essential for pollination and as a food source for other animals. The presence of lions, therefore, is essential for maintaining the health and stability of the African savanna, supporting biodiversity and ecological resilience. Their role helps ensure that the ecosystem can recover from disturbances and continue to thrive. Their role as apex predators is not simply about survival. It is about maintaining the intricate web of life that makes this ecosystem so unique and so precious, ensuring its sustainability for future generations. The presence of lions helps to foster a dynamic and balanced environment where all species can flourish. The disappearance of lions would trigger a cascade of unforeseen and potentially catastrophic consequences throughout the African ecosystem. Lions play a crucial role as apex predators, maintaining the balance of various species and ensuring the health of the environment. Their hunting activities help control the populations of herbivores, preventing any single species from becoming too dominant and overexploiting the vegetation. The ripple effects would extend far beyond the loss of a single species, impacting everything from plant life to water resources. The absence of lions would disrupt the natural order, leading to overgrazing and the degradation of vegetation, which in turn affects soil quality and water retention. This degradation would also impact the microhabitats that many smaller species rely on, causing a decline in biodiversity. Without lions to control their numbers, certain herbivore species such as zebras and wildebeest would experience population explosions. This overpopulation would result in excessive grazing, stripping the land of its vegetation and leaving it barren. The loss of plant cover would also lead to increased soil erosion, making it difficult for new plants to grow and further destabilizing the ecosystem. These large herds would place immense pressure on the already strained resources of the savanna, leading to competition for food and water. The scarcity of these resources would not only affect herbivores but also other species that rely on the same habitat. Predators that depend on these herbivores for food would struggle to find enough prey, leading to a decline in their populations as well. The delicate balance of the ecosystem would be thrown into disarray with unpredictable and potentially disastrous consequences. The loss of vegetation would lead to soil erosion, reducing the land's fertility and further diminishing the availability of food and water. This would create a feedback loop where the declining health of the ecosystem makes it even harder for it to recover from the loss of its apex predator. The loss of lions would leave a void at the top of the food chain, creating a domino effect that would be felt throughout the ecosystem. Other predators might try to fill this void, but none can replicate the unique role that lions play in maintaining the ecological balance. This imbalance could lead to the rise of opportunistic species, which might further disrupt the ecosystem by preying on vulnerable species or competing with other predators for limited resources. With lions gone, the populations of their prey would skyrocket, leading to an unprecedented increase in numbers of antelope, gazelles, and other herbivores. These animals, no longer kept in check by their natural predators, would reproduce rapidly, causing their populations to swell beyond sustainable levels. This might seem like a positive outcome at first, as more animals would be seen roaming the plains, but the reality is far more complex and troubling. The sudden surge in herbivore numbers would disrupt the delicate balance of the ecosystem, leading to unforeseen consequences that could ripple through the entire food web. An unchecked increase in herbivores would place immense pressure on the environment, leading to overgrazing and habitat degradation, which would severely impact the health of the ecosystem. The vegetation, unable to recover from constant grazing, would dwindle, resulting in soil erosion and loss of plant biodiversity. The abundance of herbivores would decimate vegetation, stripping the land bare and leaving behind a barren landscape, unable to support the diverse life it once did. This loss of plant cover would also affect the soil's ability to retain water, exacerbating drought conditions and further stressing the ecosystem. The loss of plant life would have a devastating impact on other herbivores, leading to increased competition for dwindling resources and potentially even starvation as water and food become scarce. This intense competition could lead to aggressive behaviors among species, further destabilizing the ecosystem. This ecological imbalance would create a chain reaction, impacting a wide range of species from insects to large mammals, and ultimately threatening the stability of the entire ecosystem. The decline in plant and herbivore populations would also affect predators and scavengers, leading to a cascading effect that could alter the entire food web. The disappearance of lions would set in motion a series of events with far-reaching and potentially irreversible consequences, altering the very fabric of the African wilderness. The loss of this apex predator would not only affect the prey species, but also the entire ecological community, leading to a transformed and impoverished landscape. Section 5. Hunger on the plains, overgrazing and habitat loss. Overgrazing by unchecked herbivore populations would lead to widespread habitat degradation. Without lions to keep their numbers in check, herbivores like antelopes and zebras would multiply rapidly, consuming vegetation at an unsustainable rate. This overconsumption would strip the land of its natural flora, leading to a significant reduction in biodiversity and altering the landscape dramatically. The once lush savannas could transform into arid landscapes, stripped bare by hungry mouths. This drastic change would not only affect the plant life, but also the soil quality, leading to a barren and inhospitable environment. The loss of vegetation would also reduce the land's ability to retain water, exacerbating drought conditions and further stressing the ecosystem. This loss of vegetation would have a domino effect on the entire ecosystem. The intricate web of life that depends on the savanna's resources would unravel, affecting everything from insects to large mammals. The decline in plant life would lead to a decrease in food availability for herbivores, which in turn would impact the predators that rely on these herbivores for sustenance. The disappearance of plant life would rob other herbivore species of their food source, leading to increased competition and potential starvation. This intense competition could result in aggressive behavior and conflict among species that once coexisted peacefully. The stress of limited resources would also weaken the animals, making them more susceptible to diseases and reducing their reproductive success. The loss of vegetation would also increase soil erosion, making it difficult for plants to regrow and further exacerbating the problem. Efforts to reforest and restore the land would face significant challenges, as the soil would lack the necessary nutrients and stability. This erosion would also lead to sedimentation in nearby water bodies, affecting aquatic ecosystems and reducing water quality. With the delicate balance of the ecosystem disrupted, the very survival of countless species would be threatened. Endangered species that rely on specific plants and habitats would be at greater risk of extinction. The loss of key species could lead to further imbalances, creating a cascade of negative effects throughout the ecosystem. The once thriving savanna could become a shadow of its former self, a stark reminder of the vital role lions play in maintaining ecological harmony. The landscape would serve as a poignant testament to the importance of apex predators in preserving the health and diversity of ecosystems. The absence of lions would highlight the interconnectedness of all species and the fragile balance that sustains life in these environments. Section 6. Ripples in the water. The impact on water resources. The loss of lions would have a significant impact on water resources in the African savanna. Lions play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem, and their absence would disrupt this delicate equilibrium. Without these apex predators, the entire food web would be affected, leading to a cascade of changes that would ultimately impact water availability and quality. Overgrazing by unchecked herbivore populations would lead to soil erosion and reduced water infiltration. Without lions to keep herbivore numbers in check, the vegetation would be overconsumed, leaving the soil exposed and vulnerable to erosion. This erosion would not only degrade the land, but also increase runoff, causing more frequent and severe flooding during rainy seasons. This would have dire consequences for rivers, streams, and watering holes, impacting a wide range of species. The erosion would lead to sedimentation in water bodies, reducing their capacity and quality, which would affect both wildlife and human populations. Sedimentation can clog waterways, disrupt aquatic habitats, and reduce the availability of clean water for drinking and irrigation. As the land becomes drier and more barren, water sources would become increasingly scarce. The loss of vegetation would also reduce the land's ability to retain moisture, exacerbating the scarcity of water. This would lead to a vicious cycle where the lack of water further inhibits plant growth, making it even harder for the ecosystem to recover. This would lead to increased competition for water among animal populations, potentially resulting in conflicts and even death. The struggle for limited resources would intensify, causing stress and reducing the overall health of the ecosystem. Predators and prey alike would be forced to travel greater distances to find water, increasing their vulnerability to other threats. The delicate balance of life in the savanna would be thrown into disarray. The interconnected relationships between predators, prey, and the environment would be disrupted, leading to unforeseen consequences. This imbalance could result in the decline of certain species, while others might proliferate unchecked, further destabilizing the ecosystem. The impact on water resources would extend beyond the animal kingdom. Human communities that depend on these ecosystems for their water needs would also suffer. The reduction in water quality and availability would affect daily life, from drinking water to agricultural practices, and could lead to health issues due to contaminated water sources. Human communities living in and around the savanna rely on these water sources for their livelihoods. The depletion of water would affect agriculture, drinking water, and sanitation, leading to a decline in quality of life. Farmers would face challenges in growing crops, and the scarcity of clean water could lead to the spread of waterborne diseases. The depletion of this precious resource would have devastating consequences for agriculture, livestock, and overall human well-being. Farmers would struggle to irrigate their crops, and livestock would suffer from lack of water, leading to economic hardships and food insecurity. The ripple effects would be felt throughout the community, impacting education, health, and social stability. Section 7. A lion-free Africa, weighing the scales. The disappearance of lions from Africa would undoubtedly have both pros and cons, at least in the short term. While the immediate effects might seem beneficial, the broader implications are far more complex. Lions play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem, and their absence would trigger a cascade of changes that could be detrimental to the environment and human communities alike. On the surface, some might argue that a lion-free Africa would be a safer Africa, particularly for communities living in close proximity to these predators. These communities often face the threat of livestock loss and even human casualties due to lion attacks. The constant vigilance required to protect livestock from lions can be exhausting and resource-intensive, impacting the daily lives and economic stability of these communities. The risk of livestock depredation would be eliminated, and the fear of human-lion conflict would dissipate. This would allow herders to graze their cattle more freely and reduce the need for protective measures. Additionally, the resources currently allocated to lion deterrence could be redirected towards other community needs, potentially improving the overall quality of life. However, this short-sighted view fails to consider the long-term ecological and economic consequences of such a loss. Without lions, the balance of the ecosystem would be disrupted, leading to overpopulation of certain species and degradation of the landscape. Overgrazing by unchecked herbivore populations would result in soil erosion, loss of vegetation, and a decline in biodiversity, ultimately transforming the savanna into a barren wasteland. The ecological services provided by lions as apex predators and regulators of the ecosystem far outweigh the perceived benefits of their absence. They help control the populations of herbivores, preventing overgrazing and maintaining the health of the savanna. By keeping herbivore numbers in check, lions ensure that vegetation can regenerate, supporting a diverse array of plant and animal species and maintaining the overall resilience of the ecosystem. The economic benefits of tourism, which relies heavily on the allure of these majestic creatures, would also dwindle. Tourists flock to Africa to witness lions in their natural habitat, and their absence would significantly reduce the region's appeal. The loss of lion tourism would not only affect safari operators, but also have a ripple effect on local businesses, including hotels, restaurants, and markets that cater to tourists. Without lions, the African savanna would lose a significant part of its appeal, impacting local communities that depend on tourism for their livelihoods. The ripple effects would be felt across various sectors, from hospitality to local markets, leading to economic downturns in regions heavily reliant on wildlife tourism. The loss of income from tourism could result in increased poverty and reduced funding for conservation efforts, creating a vicious cycle that further endangers the remaining wildlife and natural habitats. Section 8. A future without the roar. Imagining a future without the lion's roar is a chilling prospect. The absence of this iconic sound would mark the loss of a key predator, disrupting the natural order. Lions play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of their ecosystems by controlling the populations of herbivores and other prey species. The African savanna, once teeming with life and echoing with the sounds of the wild, would be forever changed. The intricate web of life that depends on the lion's presence would unravel. Without lions, the populations of species like zebras, wildebeests, and antelopes would grow unchecked, leading to overgrazing and the depletion of vegetation. The delicate balance of this intricate ecosystem would be irrevocably disrupted, leaving behind a world diminished by their absence. Prey populations would surge, leading to overgrazing and habitat degradation. This would not only affect the herbivores, but also other predators and scavengers that rely on the same prey base. The loss of lions would be a tragedy not only for Africa, but for the entire world. Their disappearance would signify the loss of a cultural and natural heritage that has inspired humanity for centuries. Lions are a symbol of strength and courage, deeply embedded in the folklore and traditions of many cultures. These creatures are a symbol of the wild, a reminder of the raw beauty and power of nature. Their presence is a testament to the health of the ecosystem and the biodiversity it supports. The loss of lions would indicate a decline in the overall health of the environment, affecting countless other species. Their disappearance would signify a profound disconnect between humanity and the natural world. It would reflect our failure to coexist with the planet's most majestic creatures. This disconnect could lead to a lack of appreciation for the importance of conservation and the need to protect our natural heritage. It is a future we must strive to prevent. Conservation efforts are crucial to ensure that lions continue to roam the savannas and maintain the ecological balance. Protecting lions involves safeguarding their habitats, reducing human-wildlife conflict, and supporting sustainable practices that benefit both wildlife and local communities. The time to act is now, before the silence becomes deafening. By supporting conservation initiatives, we can secure a future where the lion's roar continues to echo across the African plains. Every effort counts, from local community actions to global conservation programs, ensuring that future generations can witness the majesty of lions in the wild. Section 9. Answering the Call of the Wild. The fate of lions in Africa rests in our hands. These majestic creatures are not just symbols of strength and beauty, but also key players in maintaining the ecological balance of their habitats. Lions help control the populations of herbivores, which in turn maintains the vegetation and overall health of the ecosystem. The challenges they face are complex and multifaceted, including habitat loss, human-wildlife conflict, and poaching. But we cannot afford to stand idly by as their numbers dwindle, for their disappearance would have far-reaching consequences. The loss of lions would lead to overpopulation of certain species, causing a ripple effect that could destabilize entire ecosystems. Conservation efforts are critical to ensuring the survival of these magnificent creatures and preserving the delicate balance of the African ecosystem. Protected reserves and sanctuaries play a vital role in providing safe havens for lions. These areas not only offer protection from poachers, but also ensure that lions have enough space to hunt and thrive. Supporting organizations dedicated to lion conservation is essential. These groups rely on donations and volunteer efforts to fund their crucial work, from anti-poaching patrols to habitat restoration projects. Financial contributions help provide the necessary resources for these initiatives, while volunteers bring passion and manpower to the cause. These organizations work tirelessly to protect lions and their habitats, combat poaching and the illegal wildlife trade, and promote coexistence between humans and lions. Engaging local communities in conservation efforts is key to creating sustainable solutions. By involving local people, we can ensure that conservation efforts are culturally sensitive and economically beneficial. We can all make a difference by supporting sustainable tourism practices, which not only provide economic benefits to local communities, but also raise funds for conservation initiatives. Ecotourism can create jobs and generate income, which can be reinvested into conservation projects and local development. Raising awareness about the plight of lions is crucial. Educational campaigns and outreach programs help inform the public about the importance of lion conservation and the steps we can take to help. By educating people, we can foster a sense of responsibility and encourage more individuals to get involved in conservation efforts. Advocating for policies that protect these magnificent creatures and their habitats is another vital component. Stronger laws and regulations can help curb poaching and ensure that lions have the space they need to thrive. Policy advocacy can also lead to increased funding for conservation programs and greater international cooperation. The future of lions in Africa depends on our collective action. Collaborative efforts between governments, NGOs, and local communities are essential to create a sustainable future for lions. By working together, we can pool resources, share knowledge, and implement more effective conservation strategies. Let us answer the call of the wild and ensure that the lion's roar continues to echo across the savannah for generations to come. Together, we can make a lasting impact and secure a future where lions thrive in their natural habitats. Our actions today will determine the legacy we leave for future generations. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.